Howdy, folks. I'm up late at night and was looking at some content and wanted to go live. Basically, just a case of insomnia. So, I'm going to be looking at this video from Tom Rabbit, Darth Dawkins versus clinical psychologist Dr. Ambivert. Now that Darth is over on TikTok, he's getting exposed to different users, different people, different types of discourse, and I don't think that he's really. I don't think he's really surviving well. I don't think he's doing it right. Dr. Ambivert, as we watch this, I've seen this already. Seems kind of friendly. Seems friendly, ingratiating, easygoing. We'll see how well that works out with Darth. This one, I did not show this one early on, and I rarely go live this late at night or early in the morning, depending on what you're looking at. But I just figured I'd do this one just for shits and giggles, just to see what happens. Okay, so here we go. So, not a lot of context to this one. Darth is doing his TikTok thing. He's trying to gain more viewers. I think this is a really weird. It's an interesting look for me regarding Darth. He seems like he's trying to present himself in a little bit more polished way. There's a little bit of like the game show host kind of aspect to what he's talking about. The way he's presenting himself. Maybe he. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, where we should take this, but he's doing his best, trying his hardest, and I think it's interesting that he's doing this on TikTok because people for the longest time kept telling him like, "Hey, why don't you do a YouTube channel? Why don't you try that?" And he'd done it before. I think he'd gotten banned or kicked or whatever because he'd gotten a little bit too politically incorrect. But now it seems like he's trying to do this with TikTok. He's trying to become like a real TikTok creator. Maybe he's trying to reach out to the kids. My guess is I think that the reason that he's doing this is because this is giving him an opportunity to abuse younger people. Excuse me. I'm not trying to force that in the forefront, but yeah, I think he is. Anyway, here we go. So that's as much context as I can give to this. He's on TikTok and he's doing this kind of stuff, and he runs across clinical psychologist Dr. Ambivert. So let's see what happens.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing fine. How are you? What shall I call you?
I'm sorry. Dr. John is fine, or John, just John.
Okay, if you either one, whichever you prefer.
Okay. I don't. I think that the way that you're perhaps attacking atheism and someone who's agnostic is in itself. I mean, to me, and what you're saying is a bit of hypocrisy, don't you think?
Tough question for Darth right out the gate. Yeah, JL. Hey, 3:15 a.m. live. Wow, yeah, it is 3:15 for you. It's an hour later for me. I don't usually do these, but
Can you explain?
I mean, the absence of belief for someone. I mean, I'm agnostic. I don't push my agnostic views on other people. I mean, I'm not here to convince you that there is no God, but aren't you trying to convince others that there is?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so why can't you just let them be?
Why? Because I hold to the Christian worldview. I'm commanded by God Himself in the Bible to spread the gospel
Thought
and
so.
to defend Jesus' identity claims. Okay,
Uh,
I'm commanded to do it.
Okay. I mean, don't you think though? I mean, in all honesty, don't you think that a a supernatural being don't you think that they can defend themselves?
Yeah, God can decide to communicate in all manner of ways, and He has decided to communicate of Himself through creation as well as through human history, through a number of prophets, culminating in His incarnation in Jesus Christ, codified in the Bible.
Right. So to me, I mean, instead of, I mean, I'm
I love this surrender into the kind of like blanket apologetic, rhetoric that Darth just gets into, like, oh, blah 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 blah. Pinworm 420 here as well. A few ways. Well, I'm not going to judge anybody for spending their 4:20 a.m. in any, in any way. But
I'm not against what you're doing. I mean, I understand your point of view and your perspective here, but wouldn't it be better to just show through like leadership by just maybe just showing that you're more tolerant of others and living your life the way that maybe Christ wanted you to live, other than just putting them down from their points of views? I mean, because a lot of people will be turned off from that. So if you come in and you told me that being agnostic or being atheist is absolutely the wrong view, and I'm going to take this stance and say that what you're thinking is ludicrous, or it's hard for me to fathom. But wouldn't it be just better to just share the news that Jesus Christ was resurrected and he came here to save others? I mean, I don't think Jesus, if he came back today, would be as negative as I think you guys portray him to be. I mean, doesn't he tell you to turn the other cheek?
mhm.
That's only if somebody gives me a personal insult.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
so what should I do if you give me a
Well,
personal insult, such as if you were to say that, especially atheism, like in defending the Christian worldview? I mean, should I turn the other cheek and just walk away, or should I stay and listen?
Do you consider that an insult?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're sitting there saying against all other worldviews, by saying that, you're saying my worldview is wrong, and
you're welcome, Matt. I don't normally do ones this late at night or this early in the morning, but yeah, I'm doing this one because I've got a little bit of insomnia going on, and this stuff has been kind of like racing through my brain. Bellywood. Wow, this is early. Yeah, it is early or late, depending on where you're from.
yours is right.
And why is that an insult?
Because what if I told you? I mean, would you not consider it an insult if I told you that Christianity is fake and it's a myth, and the fact that you're suffering from scrupulosity and OCD, that you think that you have the moral high ground because of your belief? Would you not take that personally?
No.
Oh well,
No.
then you're unique. Then we can have a conversation then, because a lot of
I
people.
don't take that personally.
Okay, good. Then that's good. I mean, a
By
lot
the
of
way,
That is a lie. Darth takes that personally.
lot of
what are you?
a
What
lot
are
of
you a
things.
doc? Can I
I'm a
ask you a question?
Yeah, I'm a
What?
psychologist.
Okay.
I have a PSYD. So I mean, when I'm working with someone, I specialize in adult.
Red alert. Darth is talking to somebody with a PsyD, right? This guy's got. Now, he's not a psychiatrist, but that means he's not like a medical doctor. But he does have a PhD in psychology.
Adolescence. So I'm a clinical child psychologist. But when a client comes in, I don't come out and just tell them that your view and my concept is correct. Your view is wrong. And I mean, you're suffering from a learned behavior or a chemical imbalance, or it's all based in trauma. I don't come out and say that. What I do is I try to get to know the person. I try to relate to the person as much as I can. If I can't relate to the person, I'll try to understand them. And therefore we build a relationship in order to talk, and then we have a discussion.
This sounds very reasonable. As to Uncle Charlie's comment, very early or very late, it's both. It really is. It's both. I apologize.
But when you come out and you say basically that you're against all other worldviews, especially atheism, it sounds a bit like you're taking the high ground and saying that what you believe is the absolute and only way, when you know that's not true. Because I mean, so many other
Well,
religions believe
what
the
do you?
same.
Oh, hang on there, Saidi. Dr. Ambivert. I don't think that is the case. Darth is taking the only way, according to him.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay.
When you say, well, first of all, were you under the impression that I'm doing some kind of psychotherapy?
This is a weird thing to say. Dr. Ambivert is trying to give him some advice in terms of like, hey, if you want to convince some people, maybe do this, maybe do that, maybe do that. And then Darth's big pushback is like, hey, do you think I'm out here trying to do some kind of psychotherapy? Like, well, I hope you're not trying to do that, because that might be a little bit unethical if you're just trying to do like psychotherapy on blast. So, no.
I mean, look at the image you're using.
Okay. Are you under the impression that I'm doing some type of psychological counseling?
Well, are you not? Are you? No, I'm not saying you're counseling, but I think you're using a deference. I mean, what when you're putting Dawkins in a Darth Vader helmet, what are you implying?
Yeah, it's a parody of Richard Dawkins, who is a premier representative of atheism and the theory of evolution, both of which I oppose and debate against.
Sure.
The
Right,
avatar the avatar, and the name is a parody.
Right, but I mean, but what are you implying by putting him in Darth Vader's helmet?
It's a parody.
Right, I know, but what are you implying with your parody? That he's dark, right? That he's evil.
Richard Dawkins' alter ego.
I mean, are you implying that Richard Dawkins is an evil person?
No, it's a parody.
Right, but I mean, well, let me ask you then. Let me ask you this. So, do you believe the?
I think you're taking the parody a little bit too seriously.
No, but I'm just saying.
But that's not his point. But
I mean, I can change my screen name and avatar.
No. I'm not doing. I don't. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, I love satire, and I love. I mean, but what? Imagine.
Well,
imagine.
I'll just hold on a second.
Okay.
Right?
Deaton, I like your life. Slept from 8 to midnight, got up, realized my back door was open, had to find my cats, and there was a badass live police chase. Was on fire, tractor trailer. And then, no, me. Okay, well, yep.
Originally, I've had a variety of screen names.
Okay.
Since I've been debating, online. Okay, and one of my screen names was
Darth is now going to explain how you troll and what comedy is.
Duncan Dawkins, and I had the floating head of Richard Dawkins bobbing in a hot mug of coffee. It was
which was not great. It was not a good look.
Duncan Dawkins. Okay,
I love that. I think it's funny.
And yeah, well, yeah. So
I think it's great that Dr. Ambivert is like, like, hey, that's great. I think that's funny. That's nice of him. I would have been like, dude, that's lame. What the fuck are you doing?
When I started debating, there are different internet platforms that I would converse and debate on. And so at a certain point, I would sometimes, from time to time, I would change.
Are you live? I feel like you're personally trolling me. No, I'm actually live right now. And I apologize. It's way too early or way too late. But yeah, I'm live. I'm sorry, Maya. I'm especially I don't know why. I'm especially apologetic to Maya. I'm not sure why. Like, I feel like I really let her down. Yeah, I'm live. Captain Desert. Hello, Jefferson. Are we late? Are we up late or up early? Kind of up late. Okay, so this is something that's been happening to me lately. I've been having this thing, and maybe I shouldn't relate this, but this is independent of any kind of like substances or anything like that. Um, I eat dinner usually pretty early, around 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and oftentimes at that point, I usually fall asleep. I usually want to nap. I did that. Normally, I kind of shrug that off. Last night I did not. I fell asleep after dinner and woke up at about like midnight, quarter to 11:45, something like that. And I've kind of been up since then. So yeah, I'm a hot mess. Maya says, lol, home with the flu all week, slept all day, so now I'm up all night. I forgive you. This was, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's sort of the same thing. What's really going to bother me is how I'm going to make it through the workday tomorrow, because at some point I'm going to be really super active for the first 4 hours of the day, but after lunch, I'm not going to be capable of producing anything because yeah, I'm just going to be catatonic. So sleep is overrated. I only do it because I have to. I'm kind of there. Yeah.
My username avatar, which I may even do in the near future,
Right.
just to cause as much hemorrhoidal pain to atheists as possible. But so I was Duncan Dawkins, and when I was debating on YouTube one time, and the atheist was getting trounced, somebody in the text message said, "You're evil. You're Darth Dawkins." I said, "Okay, I'll use that." So it's just a parody.
Yeah, I know.
Like the name of
Look,
the avatar.
I don't find it, offensive, because I don't internalize me being agnostic, or me being an atheist. I don't internalize. It doesn't make me who I am. So you're not going to offend me with those things. And I understand some people who get offended by those things really are more upset with themselves than they are with you. But I'm just trying to relate to you, and what you're doing is a little bit malice, and that's okay. You admit to it.
This is actually kind of important, I think. There always is, I think, in comedy, a little bit of maliciousness. There's a little bit of something kind of harmful, kind of fucky or whatever. That's sort of the point of it. I think that's kind of the fun. I think that's part of the fun of it, and I think that's part of the joy of it. There's a little bit of something that's a little bit tricky. Um, so I think it's kind of weird when somebody's like, "No, I'm doing something that's completely dishonest." Somebody actually just got after me for making fun of Darth's appearance on the last live thing that I did. And I think it's interesting I mean, I think it's an interesting point to bring up, because he was like, "Wait, it's okay to make fun of people for the way they look," and that was sort of the way they bring it up. And this came from, I think, a conservative viewer, a fan of Pine Creeks and other conservative channels. And I was like, well, yeah, it is. It's okay. I think it's okay to make fun of people for their appearance if they have a history of making fun of people's appearances themselves. I think that basically leaves you open. And that leaves me open too. And I have been insulted for my appearance. In fact, there is an infamous video, slightly infamous video, of me being drunk, catatonic, and with no shirt on, with my great big beer belly hanging out. That's been out on the internet. So yeah, there's that stuff. Also, Fabio's here. He says, "Greetings. That's a beautiful conversation. Always put a quotation marks when using that word with Darth. Boy, there's a twist later." Thank you, Fabio. I'm glad you're here. And for Fabio, It's like 10 a.m. where he is. Because where he is, it is tomorrow.
And that's okay.
Wait,
A lot of
whoa. Malice.
Yeah, don't you think so? I mean, imagine if I mean, let's just change perspective. Maybe you can have a little more empathy. Maybe you can relate to this a little more. What if I put Jesus Christ in a Darth Vader suit? It said Darth Jesus. Darth Jesus.
Well.
Would you find that offensive?
I don't think that anybody holds Richard Dawkins up to the stature.
It's 10:30 in Italy. And think about how beautiful it probably is where Fabio is. 10:30 a.m. I think Fabio's in northern Italy too. I think he's like if I remember, I'm not trying to like out you, Fabio, but I think Fabio is like in and around the area of Milan. So he's in northern Italy. That's got to be sexy as hell. I'm not thinking coastal. He's not like on the Amalfi Coast. He's not doing that George Clooney life. That's for posers. He's in northern Italy, where real Italians live.
That Christians hold Jesus Christ.
Oh, you don't think so? I mean, some of them have been
No.
accused of saying that he's their Moses.
Oh my God, Fabio, you're in Tuscany? Oh my God, I thought you were. Oh my God, you're in Tuscany. Oh, I had no idea you were in such a swank location. First of all, send me your address and let me know if I can stay with you for an extended period of time. Fabio, you should not have revealed this to me. I love Tuscany and have always wanted to go there, be there, own it, whatever. Because I'm American, I just want, I want all that.
You know what? I'll take your criticism and think about it. Your previous
No. I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to.
No, I mean that. I mean, look, criticism is not necessarily a bad thing. Okay.
No, it's good.
Do I think it's malice? No.
I'm actually a little bit disturbed by this because Fabio interviewed me for his own channel. I don't know why I didn't pick up on the fact that he was from the Tuscany area. I thought he was from Milano. This bothers me quite a bit. I'm very sorry to Fabio. I thought Fabio was in the Milano area of... But he's actually in Tuscany. That's so much cooler.
No. But let's get back to the issue. First of all, I have my own model of reality problems with the world of psychology and psychotherapy, but that's a whole other can of worms.
No, and that's okay. I mean, because I don't.
And if I didn't, I'm not doing.
Yeah, Darth has demonstrated that he has a problem with this because when he has talked about this kind of issue before with people, he has lost his mind. He does not like psychoanalysis, and he does not like therapy work.
I'm not doing therapy or personally counseling. What I'm doing here is what is called apologetics. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I know. And honestly, to be honest with you, I mean, this is no attack on you at all, but I think apologetics.
Listen, if you want to severely criticize me,
no, I'm not. No,
can I finish? Can I finish?
Sure.
This is what this stream is about. If you want to come in here and tell me I'm Mr. Wonderful, my guest. If you want to criticize me and say you're wrong on this, that's fine. That's what we're here for. Not to be, like a Don Rickles roast.
Right.
To have, mental and intellectual jousting.
Right.
So that we can try to arrive at the truth.
Right. Oh my
God, Darth. Hogtie says, fun fact, Fabio Andreazzi is an Italian persona on the internet. In real life, he is from northern Saskatchewan. That is like the most opposite. I think like that you can get like there's an individual that claims to live in Tuscany. Where are they actually from? Saskatchewan, Canada. That is the polar opposite. That's like somebody saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually from Baltimore, Maryland." Like, where do you live? I'm in Tokyo, um, Tokyo, Japan. Wow. Spooky is also here, and yeah, Spooky is one, omnipresent, and two, he never sleeps. So it's good to see him here.
To be honest with you, I find apologetics to be disgusting, and the reason I say that is because apologetics will try to diffuse and try to redirect what is actually being taught in the Bible, such as, we could talk about God condoning slavery. And then they'll say, oh, well, he didn't mean slavery. He meant indentured servants. And then you go on and go on. That's what apologetics does. I mean, when it says, no, God did not mean it that way. He meant it this way.
Look, I would strongly recommend that you look up a video by biblical scholar Dr. Peter J. Williams, and he goes into all of the Hebrew and the Greek terms and their contextual frame of reference.
Oh, Peter J. Williams gets into the Hebrew and the Greek. Okay.
For the word slave. Okay.
I know, but see that.
Notice what has happened here. This guy has brought up the fact that, like, look, here's one of the things that I don't really like about apologetics is, for example, the slavery thing. Darth bit on the slavery thing and is now doing the Christian apologetic approach to do it. This is hilarious.
That's what you're doing. You're changing.
I'm trying. No, sir. So what you are doing is you are mistakenly assuming that the word slavery translated into English accurately.
Okay, so the distinction, I'm just going to put this out here because it needs to be said. The problem with slavery in the Bible is an issue between dogmatic evangelical fundamentalists that don't want to admit that the Bible is talking about slavery, and critical biblical scholars that realize that that's exactly what's going on. Those are the two groups that need to talk to each other. Skeptics that are showing up and saying, hey, I've read critical biblical scholars that have said that that's exactly what this thing is showing, and so I think you're full of crap. And then the Christians are like, oh, you know what? You know what you need to do? You need to figure out what your metaphysical ontology is, or your metaphysic epistemology is, before you come at me, bro. Wrong. That's just weak. That's stupid. Like, this is an issue that Christians really need to deal with. Christians need to deal with this, because as the stuff is becoming more available online, the inerrant evangelical approach to, like, the Bible is becoming harder to stomach. So, yeah, they should do something about this. But Hogtie says, oh, this part is annoying. Ambivert makes a point about apologetics using slavery excuses as an example, but Ding Dong gets hung up on this one thing. Shows exactly how dumb apologetics is. Lol. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he just takes the bait. Yeah, he just takes the bait and goes into it like, well, here's the problem that you're having, brah. It's the words you used and the translations used and what they mean by slave, and it's not slave, it's bondservant, and it's this and it's that, and he just goes right into all the classic, like, really kind of old school cliche apologetics for dismissing slavery in the Bible.
Represents the Hebrew. There are a variety of Hebrew words, but one primary word, and we can show this in many different contexts, does not refer to kidnapping and forced servitude. It simply is a term that refers to anybody who serves someone else in any kind of conditions. And it has to be understood contextually. So, for example, do you remember Nancy Reagan?
Uh-huh.
She had a campaign called "Just Say No to Drugs."
Right, I remember that.
Was she right? Was she publicly opposing the pharmaceutical industry and medications and antibiotics?
It doesn't have anything to do with anything, but okay.
No, of course not. She was referring to
Right. She was
referring
referring to the recreational use of mind-altering substances,
which
and
is a
so
which,
it has to be right. But you see, if you actually do a study, okay, what you will find is that there are new. First of all, did you know that kidnapping and forced servitude are outlawed in the Old Testament?
Kidnapping is, forced servitude is not.
You know
really,
that?
really, but
Really?
so right. So when God was saying
It was punishable by death. If somebody kidnapped
Forced servitude was not punishable by death. Kidnapping is a capital offense. Yes, I believe it is.
somebody and forcibly
where's that
confine
at?
them.
What scripture is that?
I can't remember off the top of
Oh,
my
okay.
head.
Well,
There's a passage in Exodus. There's also a passage in
well,
Deuteronomy.
if you could find that, I would
I'm
like
driving
to read it.
right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying. I
driving
mean,
right now.
when God tells you how to treat your, we can use whatever you want to say.
Warren is saying Darth here is just lying. I don't know that he's lying. I think that he might be lying. It's very likely that he is lying. But he also could be very ill-informed if he's getting this information from apologetic sources.
Indentured servant or whatever, how to treat them, and then if you beat them, and they don't die within 3 days, or that the fact that you can own them and then pass them on to your children as inheritance, and not only that,
I was just reading a semi-scholarly article on that the other day, and it's very important.
Semi-scholarly?
Not to limit yourself simply to the English translations. Okay.
Sure. The reason that people would refer to biblical scholars would be because those individuals have studied those ancient languages and know what's happened between the old translation and what we've got in certain English translations and certain Bibles. It's interesting to me, though, that most of the people that you could go to for that, Darth would say, you shouldn't. Bart Ehrman, Dan McClellan, those are just the two names that come to mind. I'm thinking of the Greek woman from England, Stavrakopoulos. They all know these languages, and that's that's the point of their study. And they can read them in the original language, and tell you, like, yeah, this is accurate, and this isn't. Darth wouldn't take their translation to heart.
Because sometimes the English translations are very good, and sometimes they're not so good in how they translate.
Agreed. But one of the interesting things about the NIV translation when it comes to the Old Testament portion is the use of the word slave in that. Most critical biblical scholars don't think that the NIV got that wrong. They don't think that they got that portion of it wrong. They might have issues about what the NIV has done with other portions of the Bible. But in terms of referring to these individuals in those Old Testament passages as slaves, nope, got it exactly right. That's exactly right. That's how you should take it.
Things. The term inheritance in the Hebrew within that context can also be translated to assign to attribute to.
Oh, okay. So well, let's use your terminology then.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on a second. Let me ask you a question. Okay.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay. So you're a middle aged guy like I am. Are there professional football?
If Darth is 62 or 63, he is no longer middle aged. He is a senior citizen. I think that's fascinating. You think, oh, well, I'm 10 to 15 years older than you. You and I are both middle aged. Like, Darth, you're almost a generation older than the guy that you're talking to. You are a senior citizen. You are an elderly individual. Embrace it.
Players who are have a
Oh no 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 no
contractual.
no 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 no
Let me
no!
let me let
You're
me
not going to get away
finish.
with that with me. You're not going to get
Let
away
me,
with that with me.
sir. You're being rude.
No, you're being rude. You've interrupted me the entire
Okay.
time I've been here. I've not been able to complete one complete thought.
I have not. Okay, look, you can leave right now. I haven't been rude to you.
Okay, well, if you feel you can't,
Yeah, Dr. Ambivert really has not been able to complete a full sentence.
make an argument, I'll go. If you don't want to engage with someone who challenges you, that's
Sir,
fine.
I am engaging with you.
No, you're not. You're
You're
talking. You're over talking me.
just okay.
You're over talking me.
Have a nice day.
Okay, all right. Mental gymnastics.
Yeah, Darth is just fucking up. Fabio says Leviticus 25:44 through 46 says you can buy slaves from other nations. It remains to be seen if someone from, say, Texas can buy someone from Nevada, or if they need to go to Mexico or Canada. Yeah. You know what, Fabio? Just give us a little bit of time. We'll probably have some politicians that are saying the same kind of thing. Like, we just need to figure this out.
It's all you guys do is mental gymnastics.
Have a nice day, sir.
Okay, well, you can boot me if you want. Show your true self. Show your Christian love and boot me.
You can voluntarily leave.
No, you can boot me if you want.
I think this is interesting. Darth says, like, you can voluntarily leave. Maybe this is because it's like TikTok, and this guy's like, no, you need to remove me.
Because I'm not gonna be the one to run. You can boot me if you want, because you've not let me complete one complete.
Here's a guy who claims he's a psychologist and a psychotherapist, counseling young people.
He didn't just claim he was he claimed he was a PsyD. He said he had a doctorate in psychology.
And he's completely clueless how he, at times, was overbearing and rude. I bent over backwards.
What does a person's credentials have to do with their capacity to recognize their self-awareness in an interpersonal reaction? What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Being cordial with him, right? And then when I start to disagree with a few things with him, he becomes vitriolic.
He did not become vitriolic.
And this guy says he's a psychotherapist.
He probably is. Earth.
Did you get that, Tom Rabbit?
Okay, so Darth's lost his mind and he's completely incapable of following the plot. Thank you, Michael Deaton, for posting those. I'm gonna wrap things up here. Thank you, everybody in the live chat. I'm surprised that there's this many people here at this time of day. Thank you for putting up with me doing this amnesia session of one of my shows. I don't even think I got the word out on any of these. But yeah, I just wanted to cover this one because I thought it was such a weird one. And it was knocking around on my brain, and I wasn't able to go to sleep. So easiest way to go to sleep: fixate on this. Focus a live chat or live commentary on it, and then go from there. So we'll try to do that. Fabio, the conversation goes downhill from here. This is where you should already have popcorn ready. Yeah. Oh, that was earlier on. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody in the live chat, especially Hongtai and Fabio, two of my favorite people, especially Fabio. Fabio, I'm really sorry for painting you as if you were a Milano. I thought you were. I thought you were. I thought you were from like, northern Italy, that area of the country. But no, you're from Tuscany. That's so much cooler. Oh my God. I'm probably gonna hit you up later on, and be like, hey, I want to come to Italy, and you and I know each other on the internet, and so you owe me like a bed to crash, something like that. I'll try not to do that. But I do know people that have been to Tuscany and they love it. They loved it. Loved spending time in Florence and in the hinterlands. So, what the hell am I talking about? I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you, everybody in the live chat. Thank you for dealing with me, and please check in for the next stuff that I end up dealing with. There is more Darth stuff. He is quite active on TikTok. I don't know about it because I can't totally access it. Not without a troll account, because he blocked me. But other people have been telling me that he's been spending quite a bit of time on TikTok, and he's been talking to not people. I think he's been talking to the air, and then there are people that are showing up and they're like, "Hey, you know what? I think you're full of shit." And then he usually reacts, which is fun. That's what I'm here to cover. So, with that being said, I will let you all go. Thank you again for your support and your feedback. If you're catching this after the fact, which you probably are because this was a late night one, thank you for checking it out. Thumbs up, like, or dislike. As far as the algorithm goes, it's all just as good. I like the ones that dislike it because I think they're naughty, and I like the ones that try to spank me. Also, if you have commentary for me, or questions, legitimate concerns, shoot me an email, jeffersonspatchcock@gmail.com. So, yeah. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I am going to shoot off my exit video, and that should be the end of it. I'm just teasing it here a little bit. Does anybody have anything else to say? No? Nothing? Fine.